To discover what it means to be an American, sometimes you have to get out on the road. That's where you'll find Fort Bragg Communities of Cumberland County, North Carolina, a place that since the 18th century has lived and died for everything it means to be an American. We've collected all those important moments and mapped every historical site and point of interest along the way. We call it the Spirit of America Trails. Here's one of our 11 trails, the Historic Architecture Trail, the Spirit of Innovation. Without the restraints and traditions of the old country, Cumberland County was able to innovate and create some incredibly beautiful buildings, many of which are still around today. Our first stop, the Kyle House.
This is the Kyle House. It's a townhouse that was built in 1855 in that very popular period style of Greek Revival and Italianate. As you look at the front of the house, it's defined by its Greek Doric columns and the Italianate brackets. On the inside, you have this wonderful plaster cornice moldings as well as ceiling medallions that help to define the architecture and splendor of this antebellum home. The Kyle House remained in the Kyle family until the 1960s when it was purchased by the city of Fayetteville for offices of the mayor and the city manager. It was then sold to St. John's Episcopal Church about 1991 and today serves as a place for receptions for the church.
Here's our next location on the Historic Architecture Trail, Cool Springs Tavern.
We're at the Cool Spring Tavern, built in 1778. It is Fayetteville's oldest surviving structure. It was built as a public house by Dolphin Davis, and it was occupied by some of the most important people that came to Fayetteville to decide the Constitutional Convention in 1789. The house exhibits the federal style of architecture and was purchased by the McKeithen family in 1860, and they own it today. It just barely survived the Great Fire of 1831 that whisked around this house and many others, rendering 600 structures destroyed at the end of the day. Behind me, there's an old corner cabinet. In the hall, a large trunk. Some of the original glass is still in the panes of Cool Spring, and you can see the dramatic ripple glass appearance. And the boxwoods in the backyard were chronicled in an early book on colonial gardens.
Next on the Historic Architecture Trail, the 1897 Poe House.
Behind me sits the 1897 Poe House, home of the Poe family, a local businessman here in Fayetteville. He built this house in 1897. And what you see along the porch, the pretty scroll work, is referred to as Charles Eastlake detailing. Charles Eastlake was a furniture designer, and he would put this scroll work, or gingerbread work as it's sometimes called, along the chair rungs of furniture. People began to apply it to the house about this time. Although common to the time period, Charles Eastlake style into the houses is not so common around the Fayetteville-Cumberland County area. And that's what makes the house unique to the city.